Hello, everybody. This is going to be a bit of a short session because we had a little bit of a holdup. So we're just going to hop right on in. Just switching one screen. Boop.
Correct. I should probably get some music. All right, everybody. So, recap's gonna be quick. Y'all kind of had a heart-to-heart with a number of things, trying to come up with some strategy, battle plan, and realizing how the fuck are we going to approach this situation, considering the fact that we're not supposed to deal with the cult, but we have been given carte blanche to deal with Sweet. And of course, you need to find resources, you need to track down Sweet. You have some ideas. Of course, some other things are coming along, and thanks to some reverse work, you guys have kind of been given an area to start with. That being the criminal underworld, specifically the deeper section of the criminal underworld, the deeper part of the ley lines that nobody wants to go to, save for the more unsavory folk. You do happen to have a way in, thanks to the lovely workings of dear old Uncle Enki. So we will be picking up from there. You guys have, I will say you guys have managed to get some sleep, you rest, you have long rested. In terms of classwork, you guys are just going to generally go through. I think he has kind of given you all like a heads up of, hey, when you're all done with the classes, meet back at the warehouse. He's going to help get you guys into the deeper sections of the ley line. The underworld market, specifically. If there's anything you guys wish to just get done and quickly and out of the way, I'd say do it now.
Well,
Because from here, it's going to be prep.
yeah. Well, Daedalus for prep would have basically just taken as much time and gotten as much ink he could from Alfira, and had been just making spell scrolls with his transcriber to give everyone at least one copy of Locate Object, and then ask Anki to let everyone hold, look at, lick if need be, the soul coin, so that way, if any of us get separated, or if we need to find one, we will be able to, without wasting spell slots.
Perfect. I will say that because you have inquired about the soul coin, and considering who you're talking to, Anki does always carry a soul coin on him. Hence, he'll kind of hold it up to you. As you all can see, the soul coin is, as he basically has stated, it is on one side a 5-pointed pentagram-style star, and on the other side is, of course, Asmodeus himself, or at least a visual representation of him. In Infernal, for those of you that speak or understand it, it says, "And devil we mistrust."
Subtle.
Sure, Belk, you'll have a little chuckle over that.
Mm-hmm. Anki kind of looks at you all and goes, "Well, glad to see that you're all here. Good to see you, lads, lasses. So, gonna need you all to do me a favor, and you're gonna see Anki kind of actually pull out some fabric, and he's going to basically hand you all cloaks.
Uh-huh, what's this for?
So that way nobody looks at you funny.
I mean, won't we stand out a whole lot more with this?
Nah, not really. You stand out more if you actually, look different. If you go generic, like, as he kind of points to himself with the cloak. Raises less eyebrows.
I mean, Belky gestures to the weapon she's got for the adventure. Considering last time we were out and about, I got caught off guard. Pretty sure I'm probably gonna catch eyes.
Not really, lass. They'll just look at you and go, probably belongs to an organization.
Whatever you say.
Anyways,
I will say before we go there, we should probably institute a buddy system in case we get separated.
good point. Pick some partners.
Well, I actually
Red!
kind of already... Yeah. I was going to ask for Salas and say that we should have the two strongest go follow around Anki.
What?
So, you were already kind of going with who I was thinking would be the best option with Iaptis. I was going to go with Salas, and I was going to recommend that Alfira and... well, actually, are we dealing with Alfira or Indare?
Good point. What are we dealing with?
Afira today.
Okay.
Okay.
Alfira and Goldblum would team up with Anki, because
Anki?
he's the asset that we definitely don't want to lose.
All right.
Why would we be splitting up? Like, why would we split the party?
No, it's not if we want to split the party, it's if the party gets split because we're going into hostile territory and a place that none of us know.
Correct.
Fair enough. Alright, yeah. Does that go with you, Red?
Yeah, that works for me. You will notice she's not wearing her usual clothes. Like, she's wearing, like, a button down, but it's kind of with, like, the Kalimshan stuff that she picked up. And anything that relates to the school is not with her.
Belky's got her armor underneath some, like, fairly baggy clothes. It's like, you know how gym rats have those shirts that are a little too thin? But you can see the armor underneath. It's mostly to, like, not hide the fact that she's wearing it, but so that it's not quite as shiny and what have you.
Fair enough.
I would say the only thing different about Daedalus is that he's openly carrying his rapier at his side.
See Salas just kind of in the corner, grumbling. And he looks on over to Afira, as I imagine Afira looks over to Salas knowingly. He says, "Do I got the booty I do?" As his glamored studded leather changes into a more...
You do.
You do.
His studded leather changes into more, like, rundown, peasant-y looking clothes, for lack of a better term.
Not have audio for the stream? Uh-oh.
No, I got
Uh-oh.
audio.
Yeah. It's all good. Alright then. If that is the case, allow me to basically put this. We will be transitioning the scene then. But before we leave, Anki is actually going to make some quick hand gestures across your entire group. And for a brief moment, you all smell sulfuric. Those of you with more sensitive noses can pick up the sulfur real quickly. But it dies down as Anki goes, "Alright, there we go. You should be protected, at least for a wee bit." And to answer your question, before you ask it, I've given you all a bit of an infernal blessing. You won't be scryed on so easily. More importantly, your thoughts, as he kind of taps the side of his head, are a little bit more protected.
You should probably do that to yourself too, because preparing for this, I didn't prepare non-detection.
I'm already good, lad. And he kind of dings a amulet you have not seen before on his neck. Forged it myself. Took a bit, but had plenty of time and lots of material.
Dales is just going to be in his head, just be calculating. Okay, it was 25 gold per throw. I did that 9 times. Okay.
With that, you all depart. Originally, you all hit to the ley lines, but as you enter in, Anki kind of looks around as you are all moving, and it kind of gives you all little bits of tips and tricks. Now, here's the thing. First and foremost, do not separate yourselves willy-nilly. If you hear somebody screaming, don't go after it. 9 times out of 10, it's a trick to trap you and immediately drag you away. You'll never be seen again. If you see people trying to be in need or anything else, do not. You gotta harden your heart to this stuff. It's a very nasty business.
All right. Stow away the altruism.
Correct. Do not, and I mean do not. You don't want to be a good person. Shit is not good.
All right.
And allow me to put music, and of course, switch us over to our map. Let me know if you all can hear anything.
I hear it.
I love the name of this track, by the way.
Look, creative liberties had to be taken. Allow me to move us onto a map that has been prepared for you all. Eventually, you do reach a door. It's just a black door, kind of in a back alley that Anki has kind of led you all to through maneuvering of back alley works. The only thing that's noticeable about this black door is it looks old, run down, and worn. But Anki kind of comes up to it and he goes, "Moment of truth." And you watch as he pulls one soul coin out. And towards where the lock would be, the coin morphs into a key. He puts it into the keyhole, unlocks the door, and opens it. And you all can hear the sounds of market, but more gruff. And he motions for you all to enter in as he walks forward.
Hood up over the face. As they're walking, Afira shifts from a very tall female tabaxi into a female dwarf looking somewhat like Enki.
All right.
Similarly, walking through the door is a red dragonborn with a scar across his left eye.
Okay, we have two people who are currently disguised. You all walk in.
I was gonna say before walking in where he can be seen, Daedalus will just pull out the scroll that he made for himself of locate object and just cast it.
You're wanting to cast the soul coin?
Yeah, looking for the soul coin with locate object just before.
Well,
even
you do
walking
get
in.
an immediate ping off of Anki. That's kind of the obvious.
Yeah, but it lasts for 10 minutes. If I can get away from Anki to a certain degree and find a closer ping, it'll ping that.
Of course. We'll get to that in just a moment.
Mhm.
Eventually, you all do proceed through the door, and you are met in this much more dimly lit, bizarre market. The first thing to note is there is, I wouldn't say tons of people, but there are much more gruffer, more unfriendlier looking folk. You see kind of a little bit of a whiplash. There are more drow here. There are creatures that look much more unfriendly. You see hobgoblins. You see goblins. Many of the goblinic variety. You see more of the darker drow. Some wearing like black and spider silk, white armor platings. There's some illithids who are currently looking at some Githyanki over at another stall, and they're staring down daggers at one another. There's what can only be described as infernal-looking creatures walking around. You see passing by a couple stalls. There's, in fact, if I could actually have some of you roll me perception checks.
Mm-hmm.
13.
22.
22.
12.
Okay.
One sec.
Oh, did the siblings twins?
Oh,
Siblings in Twinsy.
Oh shit, we almost exactly twinsied too.
18.
18 and a natural 20 from Goldblum. Okay. Salis and Dare, you two see multiple stalls. Some of these items look more rinky-dink, a little bit more... It kind of gives a general bad vibe feeling off of some items, some materials and whatnot. Belky, with your 18, you can kind of smell the sulfuric concoctions. You can definitely smell blood in the air, as there's definitely a little bit of problematics. I would say Daedalus and Iapetus, you guys, as you were walking by some stalls with your group, you two do catch a quick glance over at some cages that house some monstrous creatures, a few spiders, a few other things. Remind me, Iapetus, do you happen to know Undercommon?
Oh shit. Let me double check my sheet. I'm pretty sure
I know your brother
don't.
does.
I do not unless I have comprehend languages going. I do not have it as far as I know.
Okay. Oh. Oh, okay. Well then, Goldblum and Daedalus will see this. In one of the cages, which is just big enough, there is a few gnomes currently in chains, kind of like shivering in a cage. Goldblum, you're the first to know. There is a word in Undercommon. Chattel. With a few other signs says for all purpose sacrifice or other desired. It's very quick to ascern that this place is highly dealing in some nastiness. In fact, you kind of look away as you do see there's a Goliath who looks absolutely broken in one of these cages. The man just looks... To see another of your kind's will robbed, it kind of leaves a pit in your stomach. There's, over at one stall, this fox-looking creature that's bipedal, kind of like perusing scrolls. There's, over at another stall, where you see some people kind of just futzing about with what appears to be like weapons of some kind. They look to be firearms. And there's even like some stalls where there's like, it kind of almost looks like recruitment centers, so to speak. Like one of them displays a 5-headed dragon. Another displays kind of like a whispering skull with a finger up to its mouth. there's just all difference. And eventually, you all will kind of get a message from Anki in your heads going, all right, be very wary, be vigilant. We're in the darkness now. Highly recommend. As you all do kind of get moved towards the center. Don't go too far. Start looking around.
Well, Daedalus Gesture Salus, lead the way.
I think Belky's gonna use message for everybody here, or at least speak very quietly. Let's not use real names, got it?
Aye. Real names hold very dangerous power here. More importantly, it leads to more dangerous things for yourself and your loved ones.
So why don't we just use what I call everybody? You can call me whatever the fuck you want, I don't care.
And I wouldn't recommend that either. If any of these people hear you outside of this place, they might be able to put
Fair
two and
enough.
two together.
Fair enough.
For temporary time, give each other different nicknames.
Got it. Alright.
I have a question real quick.
By all means.
Who is the other owner of the scroll of two-way writing?
Hello.
Okay. I'm just going to write into this, and I'm going to make a note for Indare/Afira, and it's just going to read, keep this close in case of emergencies. And
Looks at it, nod.
yeah.
So yeah, you all happen to be able, this is an official, I can allow you all to split the party into your sections. You are free to
Alright.
explore this map and look at areas.
Which is why I'm glad we've instituted the buddy system.
Correct.
Well then, Daedalus will just kind of like tilt of his head with Salus and just direct over to the side that they're already facing. Just start looking around.
Alright.
Alright. I suppose the easiest place to start would be the immediate stalls nearby.
By all means. Anki will kind of look towards you, Indare, and you, Goldblum, and kind of motion for you all to kind of go forward further up. As he will make his way up towards around this area. I will say, if you don't mind, I would like each person, at least one person from each group. Doesn't matter who it is, talk to roll me to pick a number between 1 through 3.
I'm sorry, I missed part of that. Each person in the group do
No,
what?
no. Just one person of each of the 3 groups. Pick a number between 1 and 3.
I'll take 2.
Ah, shit. Took mine.
Alice's group is group 2.
3.
3. All right.
Mhm.
And then
1.
1. So, I just want to make sure so that way we basically can go by group number. So, I'm going to do a roll here. I'm going to let the Chaos Dice take command for once. And we'll start off with that group. Alright, that's a reroll. Again a reroll. Jesus Christ. Alright, after Three
Four.
fours. We finally get to. Ew, it's not a number. Group 1. We will start off with you guys. Group 1, do me a favor. Roll me perception checks. Or roll perception or investigation. Your choice.
Get up. Haha. That's 11.
Alright, an 11. Let's see. How about you, Goldblum? Rockman Jones with a 6. I'll roll for Anki. Bring up Anki's sheet. Okay. Anki. Mr. Anklesworth. There we go. Time to roll for you. You're going to be using your wisdom modifier. Okay. Much better. And there, Goldblum, the two of you will be kind of perusing through some stalls, investigating and looking through as you kind of are looking at some items. There's definitely a couple of things. Some of the sellers kind of look to try to intrigue you with some attention. At one point, you two kind of hear a yip coming from behind as Anki kind of grabs what appears to be what would have been like a pickpocket or a reverse pickpocket, hoping to plant something. And Anki just gives this guy a death stare, to which the guy just immediately runs off. And he looks up to you both and he goes, "Keep awareness to yourself, lads. That was a hex bag. Nasty little bit of business. One of those things can cause some real trouble."
I'll make sure to keep myself more attentive.
Anki is going to move up further. Alright, let's move on. Group 3! I believe that is...
Belky and I.
Yes, Group 3. I would like you both to roll me either your choice of investigation or perception.
Ooh. Let's do this.
That ain't great.
21.
Oh, shoot.
Okay. Belky, you're kind of perusing through a couple things. You see some weapons that kind of catch your attention, but nothing. Iapetus, you kind of start listening, and you hear kind of like a bit of more joviality coming from this direction. It sounds more lively. Like there's a bunch of people kind of having a bit more. Like there's a bigger gathering of people.
Mm-hmm. With that roll, am I able to hear make out what those jovial sounds are over in
Cheering.
that area? Cheering. Quietly, like without speaking, she's going to gently grab like Belky's arm and turn her in that direction.
Yep. I'm just gonna follow behind you, not saying much.
Okay.
And she will send a message to Ender, Anki, and Goldblum, just Gonna check out over here.
Hi. You do you.
What more do we see?
Well, I will get to that in just a second. As you
Um,
guys are making your way, and I'll put you just a little bit further. The first thing you notice is you are in a section. You see a couple different signs. One sign that's pointing towards your left that goes grub. One sign that points to your right that goes recruitments, offices, services, and, you know, religious parts. What you see in front of you is an open air body part market.
Yeah, I thought so.
Where there are what appears to be some people that look alive, some people that look dead. One thing that is for certain, though, there are body parts being sold. With some people, you see a couple guys, one guy kind of with some stitching all over, kind of buying what appears to be spare hearts and livers and even a pair of lungs. Another guy kind of examines bones and others. And finally, at one point, like, you guys kind of have to do a double take. As it appears, there's this man with just, like, withering flesh. His eyes hollow. But he's standing tall, wearing some blood-red robes, just kind of looking at what appears to be brains in jars.
That's cult shit. Belgi doesn't say anything. She'll just take Iapetus by the arm and nope the fuck out and try and get her to come back to look at a different stall.
Before she can pull her away, if I wanted to assess whether or not something like bones could have been found there, with that, like, roll, would she know? Or would she be able to tell?
What? That you're surrounded by bones?
No, like, I recall there being something about white bones.
No. It's just, like, bones.
Gotcha.
Like,
Or organ, black market organ selling. Got it.
You are in the you're in the body farm section.
Noted.
Hi, welcome to the messed up black market. The side of the ley lines nobody wants to go to except those who have an interest in things.
Noted. We'll follow Belky to the next location.
Yeah,
Welcome to the Necromancer grocery store.
Worse than that. Just let me move you all up.
Aisle 5. Brains. Eye of Newt.
I would say
down
you
here.
do hear more of the cheering going on down here towards the grub hall.
Oh shit! Would love to explore that, but we'll follow Belky first, unless Belky turns around.
Belky's gonna go very, very quietly under her breath. You alright, Fangs?
Yeah, I'm fine. Heard more cheers further down. We should go take a peek.
It's like a double take, like, and are you fucking serious? But Belky will just look at Iapetus. Alright, you don't want to finish checking out here?
Oh, no, we can. Just might be something of note.
I mean, the client had some particular tastes that he was looking for, so should get on that.
Oh yeah, it's just given what he was looking for, depending on what's being sold, that might be where we could find it.
Alright. If that's where you want to go, I'll go with you. We just have to cut through that.
All right. I will step away from that group, and we will make our way to group Dos. Daedalus Salus, please roll me either your choice of perception or investigation.
I don't perceive at all.
Oh no! Okay. Salus, I need you to do me a favor and roll me a d20. The lower it is, the worse off you are going to
5.
get. Okay.
Bye, guys. I'm being sold into slavery.
I'll be along to buy you up fairly soon, sweetheart.
Oh, the collar's never coming off.
God damn it. I'm going to say this. Salus, Daedalus, you guys decide to go and explore a little bit more. Salus, you, as you are kind of like investigating and perceiving things, you accidentally... I believe you have a tail, correct?
I do.
Unfortunately, your tail's a little clumsy in a stall.
Oh, wonderful.
As you knock a drink or a liquid onto an individual who then begins to scream out in agonizing pain as people start to look and see a dude getting his torso eaten alive by acid. And this, you watch kind of like as this big, burly, like, entity who kind of has like a cloak hanging off of one side, and they have like this normal looking arm, which doesn't really fit this guy who's massive, kind of going, "What the hell are you doing? Ah, that was my favorite slave!"
Wonderful.
You're gonna pay for that! As he immediately, like, sits down, like, a piece of paper, and he begins writing on it furiously, and he turns it over. 200 gold.
So, question, just for my, I guess for my, frame of mind. So he, like, there was a table that just kind of had acid sitting on it.
Yeah.
I accidentally bumped it with my tail, knocked it onto a slave in a cage.
Yeah.
And then the guy who was in charge of the cage is angry at me for the crap that I just spilled on. Okay.
Correct. He is quite nettled.
Understandable. Can I roll an insight or perception to see if I can figure out how much the going rate is for slaves?
You can. I'd say it's gonna be with disadvantage,
Sure, it's fine.
but roll me a history.
Can I ask if both Iapetus and Belky heard the scream?
It's
And
okay, I got this.
okay.
I'm going to say you actually would, as you kind of have dealt with some sectionary
Yes, I would love to know how Salus's background lets him know the value of a slave. Don't actually fill that in.
Oh shit. Okay.
I will say this. It basically does boil down to the rate of slaves, depending upon which this guy, the slave in question, looked to be like a human being, so they're kind of like a generic, like, I mean, humans populate the world. It's kind of obvious, so it makes sense that this was probably like just some weak, low rank. But, I would say, could you do me a favor?
Mm-hmm.
Looking up at this thing, roll me an Arcana or a History. Arcana or religion. Arcana,
Sorry,
religion,
I
or
meant to
history.
hit history.
Here, let me take a look at what you...
I'll take the 20, though.
I mean, okay. You kind of take a look at this thing that's before you, and then it hits you. The thing you're looking up at, because this is a big motherfucker, and look at the weight, kind of like its face, with kind of almost wings off the side of its head, and its double horns. It hits you. You're looking up at what probably is a Yagnoloth.
Okay.
And considering it's got from what you remember, Yagnoloths deal in two ways. Via contractual or violence.
Mm-hmm.
And that's usually on which arm they kind of show. Considering it's got the smaller arm, it's looking more in the negotiative mood. If it had the big arm, you might be in some trouble.
Fair enough. But what is the price of a slave?
Standardized pricing, again, it varies, but considering it was a human, and he's asking only for 200, it looks like he's kind of, like, over buying. He's kind of overselling it. A standard human would probably go for maybe, like, I'll be honest, a few pieces of gold.
Uh-huh.
Like, less than 10. Life, especially in terms of those who are put into forced indentured servitude, usually is not valued high.
Understandable.
At the initial, unless it's the initial auction. So this guy's probably trying to pull a fast one.
I had a feeling. Still.
So have I heard or seen any of this?
Yeah, you would have. In fact, I'm pretty sure you would be one of the first people that heard the screaming.
Okay, at that point, would I have heard him say what the price was?
Yes.
Daedalus just tips out. Daedalus just reaches in, tips out a bag into a smaller bag, throws it on the table, and in Undercommon goes, 100 gold worth of diamond dust, take it or leave it.
You watch as this Yagnoloth kind of picks up the bag and he starts sniffing it. He goes, yeah, it is diamond dust. Deal. Yeah. And he tosses you. Only fair, I'll give you a good price. And you watch as he tosses you this small little stone, like, rod. And he kind of goes, go! And he kicks, like, two gnomish slaves. They appear to be one appears to be an elderly woman, the other one appears to be kind of younger.
Hmm.
Consider that equal buyout.
He'll just nod, gesture to the gnomes to, like, follow, and then message them in common, each under his breath, just going, you're safe, you'll be freed once we leave.
You watch as they kind of nod, but there is a fear of God in their eyes. Daedalus, could you do me a favor?
Yes.
Roll me a general intelligence or an arcana, your choice, of
Okay.
the device you have in your hand.
Alright. 14.
You look at it, and it's not attached to anything, but it definitely has some markings on it, and you see what appears to be a dial kind of built into like the top part and a button. You can only assume this has to be something attached to the slaves, considering they're walking around with these wicked-looking black iron collars that also have markings on them.
Alright, well, Daedalus will just tuck that into his belt, and then gesture for Salus to follow him into the next room along with the 2 slaves.
Okay. I assume you're going forward for what you guys are?
Yeah, well,
Quote,
also, since he got away, is there anything within 30 feet that would ping as a soul coin, since that would mean it would be closer to me than Anki is?
You do get some pingings, but it's not a whole lot. It seems like they're like in certain purses. Like you can only assume probably some coin pouches. While you're walking, you do see a passing of what appears to be drow wearing like their armor and a drider walking by.
I will only ask, are there any females in that group?
Yeah, there is. There is what appears to be the one that's leading this group, who happens to be wearing much more ornate plate armor, as she kind of is, walking, holding this, holding at her side this wicked-looking whip that's got... It's not even leather. It takes you a moment. That's a human spinal cord.
Yeah,
Or
well-
a humanoid spinal cord, and what appears to be obsidian rock kind of worked into the spine itself.
Well, having noticed that there was any women in that group, Daedalus will then take off his slightly more like standoffish and in like confident demeanor that he's been kind of putting up, and then he will, in deference, turn his head away and try to look obsequious but capable.
Okay. But that would probably be it. We will move to...
We're there because that said we were headed that way.
Correct. Allow me to roll for who else is going up. Group 3! It's back to you all.
Okay. Frost, while that entire interaction was going on, would it have been possible for Iapetus to ritual cast comprehend languages, like under her breath if she has to speak?
I'm going to say if you're going to do that, I'm going to need a sleight of hand.
Oh, fuck. I can't remember if we're not supposed to use the magic things here.
I would like to assist by blocking her view from most people.
I will give advantage.
Oh boy, I'm in danger.
Don't fuck up! It's
That's
only
a
our line.
10.
A 10. Give me a second. I need to roll a dice.
Cause I didn't know we couldn't cast spells while we were down here.
No one said we couldn't.
I'm going to say you bring up the spell as you are casting it.
Okay. Yeah, she was hoping she could I was hoping she could ritual cast it while she was walking.
It
Beepity
takes 10
boop.
minutes.
Yeah.
You guys, I would say you do cast it. There are some people that kind of give you some looks. In fact, that one tall guy with the red robes and the hollowed out eye sockets is kind of giving you a stare as you guys are walking by. You can only assume that probably someone heard it.
Unless he gives her a reason, she won't acknowledge. The cloak's just above her nose anyway.
You do go a little bit deeper into the body farm market. Into the, we'll call it the health. We'll call it the clinical market.
Oh, goody.
You and Belky, and as you get deeper in, there is some very wicked-looking people. In fact, you see this one guy that looks... He is tatted the fuck up all over his body, but he is also, like, sliced the fuck up. There are slices all over his face, his body, as he is kind of, like offering certain... what can only be described as, like, chemical concoctions to passerbys for...
Tattoos all over his body, you say? Does he look anything like the Thay assassin that tried to kill us?
No.
Yeah.
All I can say is he looks like some deranged motherfucker who's trying to pass some chemical concoctions. In fact, at one point, you guys see this white elf with 6 limbs, wearing kind of like a black armored carapace that has extended dendrite, like machinery that looks like complicated, as he is working on an individual. And it's like, this individual, you watch, like, currently has their mouth sewn shut as this guy looks to be injecting chemical concoctions into him.
Yep, trying not to look at that. Just continuing on. Continue on. Well, we see down... Oh, sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say Apatis is just moving forward down the stairs. That's all. Doing what you were doing, basically.
What do we see down yonder way?
You see a mass market of food stalls with very exotic meats. In fact, some of them kind of look questionable. There is a food court, there is spit roasts, everything else. People are having a good time. Some people are just getting flat out pissed drunk. You see... Forgive me for the imagery that I'm about to put in your head. There is over... In fact, could I ask you both to roll me a perception?
That's been going so well for me lately.
I'm a doozits.
10.
Oh, 8!
Nope, none of you are gonna see it. But there are people just having a great time. There are people feasting, people fighting. Some people getting a little busy over in the corners and whatnot.
No, thank you.
But there also appears to be some fights going off with some people circling, like creating like some circles around groups of either people who are drunkenly brawling, some who are getting pissed at another person, and it looks like there's like death matches being held.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Does it look like bets are being placed on the matches?
It looks like there is some money exchanging hands here and there. In fact, there is... You see this imp running around with a black book, who, with some glasses, kind of running and trying to get signatures here and there as fights are going on, and eventually the imp kind of goes up towards... You see... And give me just a moment. I need to make sure that I have something a little bit more.
Huh?
I just need to make sure I got the correct thing. The correct creature. This imp runs up to what appears to be a man. A blood red Belky, almost like a tiefling, but tieflings don't have wings. This one
says they
does.
Some tiefling has wings.
Not this.
Remember, Antimony is supposed to have little tiny vestigial wings.
Yeah, but I'm talking functional wings. Big, like can actually support their body weight. There's this one looking, what can only be described as a fell-looking individual who is sharpening a glaive. Who,
Can I?
as soon as this imp runs up and hands the book, he kind of just smirks and goes, "Next round!"
Can I tell if that's a Cambrian?
A Cambion?
Yeah.
Roll me a history or religion.
Would I get advantage because, you know?
I'll give you a +2.
It's 2. Okay, well,
I'll give you a +2.
that's pretty good. And you said either history or what?
Religion.
Let's see. That's a +4 or a +4. Let's go with history. Wait, you said plus. It's only 10. Damn.
You can't tell. It might be a Cambion. It could be some other kind of horrific entity. All you know is this guy looks like he's having a good time as he's watching people spilling some blood as feasting is going on.
I see.
We will cut away from your group and move on to another group. Group 1. Group Uno, which I believe is Ender? Yes? Or Afira, I should say.
Nimune, in this form.
Nimone, of course. I would like both of you to please roll me either perception or investigations again.
Very well. 21.
21, a 22. Let's see what Anki's got. All right, all three of you roll pretty high. It kind of looks... At first, you look around each and every section, and then you see Anki kind of look to you both and go... He kind of motions towards the right, to the left. As he merely walks. And you see you guys entering in. You would see definitely recruitment banisters and other things. In fact, you do see hiring signs. Looking for bodies, looking for capable mercs. Some would appear to be preachers, or what could only be related to preachers of insane groups, kind of handing out brochures and other things, whether they be made of leather-bound tomes with paper or a more fleshy writing material. And eventually, Anki kind of stops and he begins conversing with this. He kind of starts conversing with. I need. If either of you wish, roll me a Arcana or roll me a Religion.
$22.
22. Okay. For safety's sake, Bob, would you mind if I still remain calling your character Afira, just because?
Yes, absolutely.
Afira, unfortunately, Goldblum, you're kind of distracted with the fact that one of the guys kind of giving a preaching sermon is disemboweling himself in front of some onlookers trying to get recruits. But Afira, you watch as Anki's having a conversation with this entity that is wrapped in chains and has hooks. and they are speaking what you can only remember as infernal. Looks like they're having a pleasant conversation. But Anki's kind of, it looks like he's making gestures and other things, and this entity, with that Arcana check, you recognize this as a chain devil.
Hmm. She's not going to interrupt the conversation for the moment, but she's going to, keep nearby Anki, but kind of keep an eye out. Almost look like a bored, petulant child while dad is having a conversation at the grocery store.
Got it. Got it. If you could do me a favor, please roll me a... Would you do me a favor and roll me a perception check?
Sure thing. That's a 10.
For a brief second, you swore you saw... You see this child wearing what appears to be like a small yellow cloak, holding a little balloon, and this little toy boat walking around. And as soon as they pass by, like, an individual that's, like, at a stall, you can go past them that you can't see, they disappear.
Concerning.
Eventually, the conversation kind of dies down, and Anki kind of looks to you both, and through mental communication tells you, there's a couple different leads. We're staying in this section. If we can't get anything from here, we're heading over to the blood banks. See if we can get some loose lips off of some of the Nosferatu on that section.
Understood. I caught a glimpse of what looks like a child in a yellow coat. Looks like they had a balloon and some kind of a toy.
Aye, don't follow it. Remember how I said kidnappings happen?
Aye.
That ain't no child. Or, that's not a child anymore.
As soon as I saw it, raised the hackles on the back of my neck. Wanted to make sure it was known immediately.
Aye. If you see one of them close by, don't go near the sewer grates.
I wonder what it is.
Boo.
But we will step away from this section. We return to, I believe, Group 2.
Yes.
Our beloved other wizard and rogue. You guys are moving forward.
I will say Daedalus will at one point have taken his sword off of his side and just barked a command at one of the slaves in his employ to hold it and stay within arm's reach. Basically just trying to keep up the act of, yes, I have just bought human chattel, or gnome chattel at this point.
Mm-hmm. At one point you do kind of get an acknowledging glance and even a undercommon word, brother, from a drow who kind of looks to be smoking some weird hash. Cause the fucking paper he's rolling up in, it looks like flesh. And the hash he's smoking looks weird purple.
One second here. Also, just for sake, is there any soul coin readings that are pretty I think at this point, Daedalus is kind of recognizing that, oh, if he sees a ping of just like a single coin, and the person doesn't look like a typical humanoid, he's probably looking at a fiend and assumes that that's not the circulation that they were talking about.
Yeah, it's kind of up. You do get a lot more pings as you're coming over here, but you kind of start to realize why, because there are some very, very obvious looking beings. In fact, at one point, you kind of, I'm gonna need both you and Sal's to roll me a perception check.
Will do. That's a 20. Oh, 6.
26.
Yeah, Daedalus, you're a little too caught up in, trying to keep up an appearance. Salus? You definitely catch this. There is some hooping and hollering over by a stall, and you kind of see why. Because there are two very scantily clad women with blood-red skin ushering some men into a tent. And you kind of have to do a double take for a quick second, because you thought, oh, they're fire ganassi? And then you see the wings sprouting from the back of their, the lower back. And you immediately go, ah! Succubus.
Sal's will just kind of note that and look back to Daedalus, who seems to be mulling about with his new purchases, and he's just going to nudge him, point him in the direction of what was going on there, and then promptly shake his head.
You'll get a message from him as he just kind of pulls up the hood around his cloak a little closer to his face, and you'll just hear, of course, soul coins are in circulation between all of the fiends here. Finding a source of them is going to be hard.
Salus will grunt, and then he's going to kind of look over to away from what I can only assume are paid services, and kind of meander a little bit further in.
Hey, Salus.
Yeah?
As you're walking by, you do notice something down this alley. With that passive perception.
He'll stop, and he'll just kind of look around. What does the alley look like? Like, does
It looks like it's lowering into another section, but a very familiar face passed by there.
Uh-huh.
A tattooed face.
Huh. I'm blanking.
But we only know one infamously dangerous tattooed person.
Looked like he was walking towards somewhere, or more not flailing, but more like sloppily moving.
Uh-huh. Salus is going to Salus is going to pull out. He's going to move on over to Daedalus. And he's going to pull out the piece of paper, and he's going to start the scroll of two-ray writing, I might add. And he's going to gesture down to it so that Daedalus can see it. And he's going to write down on it, "Assassin from other night spotted."
At which point, Daedalus will waste a third level to use sending to Iaptis and literally just say that word for word.
Roger that. Abaddis will look over to Belky. Hey Agnes, a certain friend of ours was spotted from the night before, the not so nice one. We should head over to the others.
Where are we meeting?
Last time we saw them was after that whole purchase.
Did we see it?
I mean, we were. I would imagine if we were here,
Mm-hmm.
I would
clicked
say
on the map and they
you
were
guys
there.
did not see the purchase.
Oh, so we didn't see that interaction
No.
take
No.
place over there?
No, you did not.
No.
Oh, okay.
So we're gonna have some surprises when we meet up with everybody. What did you get at the underground market? I bought slaves. What?
Then in that case, we'll use another sending, to reach out to Daedalus. Where are you?
You can respond. You don't need to cast
Yeah.
sending again.
I know.
Oh,
Yeah, you
never
can-
mind.
you can
Oh,
just
well then,
respond.
cool.
Where are you?
Where are you guys?
Straight right through the inner concourse, standing in front of an alley. I accidentally now own slaves.
You can't completely see Iapetus's eyes,
Mm-hmm.
but you can see, like, her nose and down. Her nose kind of scrunches up like she smelled something that stank for a brief
Mhm.
moment.
Uh-huh.
They're over to the right of where we entered. Far
What
east
happened to
side.
you?
We'll get to that later. Don't worry about it. Not
Okay.
as important. We should head over.
Alright.
And we'll start walking.
Yep. I will follow Iapetus.
Gonna wait to make sure buddy system catches up.
Okay. Well, this is. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna ask. Was there? I did send that on the scroll of two-ray writing.
Mm-hmm.
Who has the other scroll?
Afira.
Kitty cat.
Ah.
Hello.
got it. Hemlo.
Hey, Fira.
Yes.
You get a little gentle buzz happening on the side of your head.
Your pants are vibrating.
Afira would basically take a look at the note, read the note, and mentally she would communicate the information to Anki.
Anki will acknowledge. He'll say, "We'll make our way over there. Do not engage. We're on their turf."
There would be a reply. We'll making our way over there eventually. Do not engage. We think the Nosferatu have the key. Avoid children in yellow raincoats.
Getting a buzz, Salus will share what's on the paper with Daedalus. So, I guess at this juncture, seeing as at this juncture, do we see the other two kind of approaching?
Probably.
Yeah. I would say you do see your compatriots making their way. Iapetus and Belky, could I ask you both for perception checks?
Sure.
Sure thing. Doop 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 doop.
What the fuck?
Yeah, you
Oh,
guys
man.
you ain't
Nice.
you ain't seeing the performances going on.
Oh man.
Real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Does there look like a does there look like kind of a spot, maybe a little out of the way, not like in the dead center of things?
I'd say probably your best bet would just move your tokens off to like a side, like into a little side. I would not go down that alley though.
Yeah,
Not-
that's not what I was planning on doing. How about over here? Would that be good?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay, so Salsa's just going to pull Daedalus and she's gonna gesture to the other two this way. Or actually, don't even need to. Just kind of pull Daedalus and see that the other two will inevitably follow.
Okay. We will be getting back to group. We will be getting to this. Allow me to roll. Okay, we're back to the three-person group. Afira, Goldblum, you guys are being led by Anki to the blood pits. Eventually, Anki will kind of start making his way towards this, what appears to be liquid beverages being sold by the undead. As you see vampires getting sloshed. Like, some are just openly drunk. Like, you can smell spices being mixed in with blood. Some are adding in like different herbs and other medicinal remedies. One thing you see, one kind of even daring so far as to put garlic and even holy water into some blood.
Sound like it's spicy.
It's called fire whiskey.
Whatever it is, this vampire is enjoying shot glasses of it. As it just seems like they're having a great time. And Anki kind of comes up to one of them and starts talking and being jovial and even taking a few shots. And one vampire comes up to you and goes, "Ah, friend, try some. Good." In a very heavily Slavic accent. As they present you a cup. Will you sup with me, friend? You do hear Anki kind of in the back of your head go, "You have protection. Just don't overindulge."
So basically, they've offered blood to each of us.
They've offered blood to both you and Goldblum.
Hmm.
You may sup. Basically, Anki is telling you, you may sup, do not overindulge.
Mm-hmm. Afira will take the glass from the vampire, lift the glass as though a toast, and will bring it to her lips.
Alright, I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh boy. That's a 25.
Thank God! You, Afira, put the lip of the cup to your lips. Sup of the cup of blood. And for a brief moment, you can taste the vile ichor of life passing by your lips. But it does, weirdly enough, it gets hit by what would be like a spiced wine. Almost like a Mediterranean spiced wine. Something from Greece. Is the only way I could basically say it. It's not bad, but you do, like, there is the initial curdle in your stomach of knowing that you are participating of blood.
Can I roll a cook's utensil check in order to kind of critique it as I would like a normal bottle of wine?
You wish to critique it almost like
Like a wine connoisseur talking about
the sommelier.
a wine. Exactly.
Yes.
An Epicurean.
Yes. You may.
All right. That's a 21.
You pick up the hints of the Mediterranean spice and herbs. There's definitely some mint that is mixed in with long pepper, some cracked black pepper, definitely rosemary, and strangely enough, a bit of white wine grape.
Hey, rosemary. Hey, white wine, grape, milky. Aye. This be the good stuff.
The vampire kind of laughs and goes, "Aye, it's good shit. Got this from a recent raiding party." And he goes over to you, Goldblum, and he offers you a cup. "Drink, big man. You look like you've seen your fair share of blood."
Take the drink.
Constitution saving throw. Goldblum, it's a little bit harder for you. Your stomach curdles a lot harder. It's like bad milk. But through sheer force of will, you manage to keep it down. You do not get the spices that Ender was able to get. It just tastes like blood to you. But you're definitely able to hold. How you feeling, buddy?
I have no strong feeling.
Fair enough. Anki immediately kind of walks over, and mentally he is speaking to you too. Did good? From what I learned, we're gonna need to go down to the slaver pens. Apparently they've got some hotshot down there that happens to have made some serious buying and selling. So we might be able to find our mystery man down there.
All right. Sounds like a plan.
I would assume you three make your way down.
As the group is leaving, Afira just glances over towards the vampire, raises the cup again, almost as a sign of like respect or raising a toast to them before they walk away. Cup to their lips, but not drinking, making it seem like they're being a gracious guest. Never disrespect a vampire in their home.
Understood. The vampires will give you a rousing hurrah and huzzah, with one of them kind of going towards the barrel and supping out of it. As Anki... You actually see Anki have a disgusted face on him as he goes, "If there is one thing I really hate, it's the fucking undead. Piss poor facsimiles of life.
Alright, tell me about it.
Eventually, you guys do make your way down. And it's at this point, I would say, all three groups do kind of reconvene. With Anki kind of noticing the other two groups and going, mentally now able to communicate to each and every one of you. I see we're all gathered. How are we holding up?
I drank blood with some vampires.
You all will be hearing this in your heads as you are all communicating via mentally, thanks to Anki.
Casually glance. Sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, well, this is the most accepted I've ever felt in my life, which is terrible. Also, I might have to free the Goliath now too.
Iapetus will just look over at Aphira. Huh. Lucky. In regards to the blood drinking.
I've got some word about who might be dealing with the coins. A larger amount, some hotshot slaver down in the slave pens. Surprisingly, happen to be south of where you're at, their horns. As he kind of makes notice of you, Salus.
Salus nods and looks down that way. Kind of responds mentally. Oh, wonderful. We were just headed that way. Keep sharp though. And he's going to kind of like make a nod gesture in the direction of the alleyway. That was where our associate went off to. I don't know what he's doing. That's where he went.
Belky will just ask Aphira / Indare. So how was it? Was it like the worst thing you ever had? Was it like blood sausage? What was it?
I mean, I've had the blood before, but they added a bunch of spices to it, added some wine to it. Wasn't bad. Granted, the initial sup of it was, well, thankfully I've got an iron stomach.
Okay, warm or cold?
Frost, was it warm or cold? I assume warm.
Would you believe it if I said lukewarm, like room temperature?
Room temperature. I imagine that the wine was keeping it congealed a little bit.
Yeah,
keeping
that
it
would
from coagulating.
Yeah, that would be really gross. That, I think that would be way worse than just straight up drinking blood. But, yeah, so why do you think there's somebody in apparently slave pits that we gotta go see? Why would this guy have soul coins?
Loss? You know how many people get sold into slavery that end up in hell?
Belky just looks in the direction of the two gnomes that are following Daedalus, and then back at Anki. I couldn't possibly fucking imagine.
You don't want to know.
Also, half the clientele here are fiends, so there are already circulating soul coins. We just need to find the person who's carrying more than what seems to be one.
Aye, and I've been having to steer away from a few spots.
Why?
Fiends, Lass, I'm a devil.
Yes,
I've
I know.
already counted at least 10 to 12 different fucking demons and how many handfuls of fucking Yugoloths.
Yeah, don't go to the mess hall. There's a tiefling with wings that's probably not actually a tiefling. Orchestrating brawls.
Ah, lovely. The bookies have found their new sports.
I just call that a Tuesday at the bar.
Aye, but when does it end up in multiple fatalities?
Somebody breaks a glass, slits another guy's throat. It's happened. Anyway, let's go find this guy. Are we gonna be acting as your bodyguards, Unk?
Entourage.
Sure.
And Anki will lead the procession
Considering
down into this. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, considering we've been talking mentally this whole time,
Yeah.
Daedalus will just look to the two fairly terrified, like, gnomes and just be like, give them each a message. Stay close to me. If there's violence, don't run. Stay behind the strong people. You'll make it out.
Anki will even send a message as well and just go, and whatever you do, don't scream.
Alright.
Eventually, you guys begin to work your way down to this massive corridorish hall. That is, there are pens upon pens upon pens. You see stalls, live auctions going off, people being whipped. Some people are being forced to drag carts, animalistic style. Some are clothed, some are not clothed. You see one man that is being who has no arms and has no flesh from the base of the neck down. It is the muscles actually being forced to pull a cart that happens to have this, what can only be described as just maniacal. Like, Belky, it looks like another one of those Snow White elves with the multiple limbs and the black, like, armored carapace.
Yeah, just a quick, what the fuck is that? To Anki.
Flesh crafter.
Yeah, never heard of it.
Pray that you never do. Those fuckers are an absolute nightmare fuel, and you never want to have one of them as an enemy.
Second one I've seen today.
Seeing one's bad. Being on the receiving end, worse. And the live auctions are just like, if there is the epitome of human misery, it's this place. People are being tortured, sold off. You can only, like, there is some vulgaric, like, I'm going, for the safety and sanctity of this channel, there are things that are being said that cannot be repeated in other languages. Some of you that do understand, some of you do not. Like, you see even at one point, like, a family being, like, torn apart, being sold into difference, with the parents being sold at much lower prices, and the kids are going high. And eventually, they get bought off by a Baylor, who just grabs these two kids and just erupts into flame as they disappear. It is not a nice time in this section. You do see a lot more drow, though. But more than drow, you see fire ganassi, surprisingly. A lot of them.
That lines up.
Okay.
And eventually, you see an entire chariot of gold and brass being pulled by what appears to be like nightmares, with this fiery looking entity wearing almost like robes of a sultan. Could I have everybody roll me an Arcana?
Oh boy. That tracks. He wouldn't know.
7.
26.
28, nat 20?
It's 18.
Oh boy. Yeah, this would make sense. Hey, you remember the stories of an Ifriti?
Mm-hmm.
Of a genie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a genie being pulled. And, in fact, I happen to, you kind of look at it, and you remember reading material that you kind of peruse through. It looks like to be an emissary from the city of Brass.
So the Ifriti is a emissary from the city of Brass, and it's getting pulled
Yes.
out of something.
Their chariot is being pulled by nightmares. These ungodly horse-like creatures. With that natural 20, you would know the city of Brass as the capital city of the plane of the elemental plane of fire. That is Slave Hub Central.
Oh.
That is not a good place, where people are basically taken to serve Jinn and other Djinn and genies and other stuff. It is not a great time. Like, you go there, you're usually there only for a small amount of time because you're gonna die from overheating. Unless you are in a palace designed to support mortal life. Then there are very few.
Do we still have that mental link?
Yeah.
So then the rest of the party would just hear. Oh, that makes sense. I believe they're the emissary of the fire plane. Which, if you know what they deal in.
Belky's like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Kind of lackadaisically, like not to bring attention to themselves, but just kind of like lifts up their hand and like does a gesture of not of like ta-da or here it is, but pointing in the direction of the slaves.
Yeah. Well, that sucks.
Yeah. Welcome to hell. Eventually, you all do move by, and could I actually have everyone roll me a passive perception?
Well, passive would be 16.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm not a passive. Just a perception check. My apology.
You're good. 16?
20?
25.
Oh, wow, you all would actually catch this.
18.
There is actually, as you all are passing by,
Mm-hmm.
you do pass one large cage. And it catches your eye immediately. There is a woman in the cage, chained, wearing tattered white robes,
Mm-hmm.
golden blonde hair, and snow white wings. And there is currently an auction going off with a bunch of entities making, like, for those of you that are able to understand common, infernal, undercommon, the betting prices on this one entity are going in the hundreds of thousands of gold pieces. Eventually, someone yells out 10 million gold. And the auctioneer goes, sold, as this individual is handed over. You do all take a quick look. And there is... Allow me to... Give me just a second. I just need to make sure this is the correct entity.
There's no way we're going to be able to help that person.
No. No, there is not. Because holding the chains is this weird entity. Purple skin with standing at 9 foot tall, burning eyes, promising a mixture of pleasure and pain. With purple skin, purple hair, this wicked-looking wavy sword by their side, being flanked by what can only be assumed attendants, both male and female. This individual gives off like a smile of pure white as they just take this entity. And you see Anki actually violently grit his teeth, just even looking at them. And for a second, he actually steps forward, almost to like he's going to go, but he reins himself back in, and he shakes his head, and mentally you all hear, no, 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 no.
I think Belky would probably grab him by the arm so he didn't do anything.
Yeah, Pharaoh was already grabbing the back of his belt whenever he was starting to step forward.
Sorry. That one gets under my skin the worst. As he kind of spits on the ground and just hurriedly shuffles off angrily.
Though he will hear in his... I was going to say he'll hear in his head. Who was that?
More of a what was that, Specs?
A damn... The worst kind of fucking demon. A traitor.
Traitor? What?
Let's just say, long story short, he used to be on our team before he switched to the other side.
Wait.
Noted.
What?
Don't worry yourself.
Above game, we should
No.
not have survived that.
Above game, I will tell you guys at the end of the session who you just had a fun run with, without running into them.
Oh, I know. Oh.
I have a feeling that Tart would hate him.
Oh yeah, he would. Eventually, Anki leads you all towards this one stall where there happens to be an individual who's currently... How do I put this? You see... Give me a second. I have a thing. I have a thing for them. I just need to double check. Ah, there we go. You see this, looks to be like a humanoid, but with green, like a human being, but with green skin and horns and jet black, like the abyss eyes, as the night sky, as this individual kind of looks at Anki and goes, "Ah, hello, friend. Are you in the market for something?" "Aye, I'm in the market. Information." "Ah, information costs money." And And you watch Anki kind of fish out of his pocket and tosses a soul coin to him, and he kind of sniffs and he goes, "Oh, it smells so good. What information do you want? By the way, Daedalus, you still have your thing up and running, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
You get a massive ping of soul coins off of this one guy.
Hmm.
About where? I have a general idea of, like, is it directly in
Coin
a...
purse.
Yeah. Mm.
It's on his person. Anki begins to immediately speak, and he starts speaking in another language, but you all are able to understand this as common, as you're currently getting the mental scoop, thanks to Anki.
Mm-hmm.
I've been dealing with an individual who managed to get a harvester up on my ass. You wouldn't happen to know anything about that, would ya? And the being goes, Soul Harvester. Ah, that's a little tricky. Binding spells like that belong only to the Faeans. Rarely will they part with such knowledge. Though, if you're looking for the material to get it, I mean, I know a few who might get in touch. Why? What'd you do to piss them off, friend? That's for me to know, and you to not worry about. Otherwise, I'm crushing your fucking skull here and now. So how about you do me a favor? I know those coins are in circulation somewhere. Someone's been passing them off. I want a name. You give me a name, I give you a few more of these nice little shiny coins. You try to front me. I promise you this. You're gonna have every devil in this fucking facility come knocking on your door. No need to be hostile, friend. If you're wanting a name, I can give you a name. Or I can give you what name was given to me. All I remember was this fellow. There were two of them. Weird folk. One of them I definitely know was mortal, the other one not so much. Looked to be, I want to say, of the vampiric variety. Looked young for his age. Aye, what's the name? Marcus. Marcus. Aye, that's what the one was called. Don't know the other one. They just refer to him as... Yeah, they didn't really refer to him as anything at all. He was just there. Aye. Noted. Now how do I break him? You need to speak to someone of Thay. There's a few people around here. I know there's an Assassin's Guild that has a few members from Thay. Of course, there's also a few sorcerers and wizards. In fact, I'm pretty sure there's a red wizard somewhere. Have you tried the mess hole? No. I'll try that in a little bit. Thanks. Oh, and by the way, you didn't see anything. As you watch as he tosses a small bag. Daedalus, the senses go off as there is more soul coins having been tossed. Pleasure doing business with you, sir. Go to hell. As Anki turns and walks away, and mentally tells you, we're gonna go find your friend.
I would also just want to add one thing. When he said the name Marcus, you all would have heard Daedalus just go bastard, which is very out of character for him.
Got a problem? problem there.
He's using his dead friend's name.
No respect for the dead. Then again, villainy, scoundrels, and other things.
To be fair, he's an idiot. That's the smartest thing that Marcus would have ever done.
Now, what did you say you saw this guy?
Salas is going to just kind of step in front, and I'm assuming that this was the hallway, yes?
Yep.
He's going to gesture around that way, and he's going to just make a mental thing. Yeah, sure, that's wise, going after him. Still got the thing on him.
If you're talking the flask, it was destroyed.
Okay, I did not. I
Alki
forgot
was
that.
the one that personally destroyed it.
Okay. Still, I'm sure that's wise. That he would actually know who we are, kinda, sorta.
Aye. That's why we're gonna have a personal little chat with him in another room.
To be fair, if we see him, I can pretty much take off those magic tattoos. That leaves him down to just his weapons.
The amount
Yeah,
of magic
but-
you're gonna need would cost you a lot there, lad.
Not to mention, that's assuming a one-on-one encounter rather than this whole place potentially falling down on us.
And we don't want to cause a riot.
He doesn't know me. He doesn't know you. That might be enough.
Let's go.
Also,
And-
even spells aside, if he still has his weapons, we'd have to be mindful of one anyway.
Are we picking up that one Goliath?
If we live,
Important
Great.
question. Where are the gnomish people that
Directly
the painless
behind
one. Yeah, they're with the
Well,
Oh
let's-
god.
Let's just go ahead and assume the sprinkle clause for these two for right now.
Yeah, we're going with the sprinkle clause
What does
for
that
right
mean?
now.
I've never heard of that.
All right, so this is the TLDR. It's a critical role thing. Early in the campaign, one of the characters bought a ferret named Sprinkle. This ferret stayed
Oh.
with them for like 15 levels, went through like magma, the void of nothingness, poison room, survived the whole thing because he was off screen.
Understood.
And then turned out to be
Yeah.
an archfey.
Yeah.
was only asking because didn't want
It's
something to
all
happen
good.
to them.
Sorry for
Now-
those of you who hadn't seen it, but it's been out for a couple years now.
Yeah. Anyways, you guys go down this hallway. It takes a couple different turns and corners. It appears to be living quarters and everything else. And eventually, you watch Anki kind of give a pause for a second and motions for you all to get behind some corners. As coming out of what appears to be a brothel, seems to be a very inebriated Australian assassin man that you are very familiar with, who's still holding a bottle of what appears to be a drink. Kind of goes, "There was some good times there." Oh, I love it what you do with that mouth of yours, you filthy fucking whore. And he just pops the bottle and drinks a little bit more. And he goes, shit, I'll go take a raging pisser. And he watches the motion as he makes his way towards a back alley, where you can only presume this man is about to go alleviate himself. Anki looks to you all and mentally goes, he's drunk, he's taking a piss, and he's got one hand at least on a bottle. I need a
Where the
call.
other hand is.
That's both hands covered. Shall we?
We're literally catching him with his pants down.
Yes.
now I feel bad about wasting a spell slot on disguise self.
Don't. Alright, move. I need everyone to roll me a group stealth check.
Oh, I
20.
thought you were gonna say
Comedy.
initiative. Yeah. Da, 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 da.
17.
I got an 8.
13.
16.
5.
But I'm in
Okay.
heavy armor? I thought I was in half plate.
Oh
well,
boy,
okay.
hold on. I actually need to do some math for this. I need to actually see, and I need to bring up his stat sheet.
Ugh.
Should we also bring up
20.
his portrait for chat?
Yes.
I will
give me-
handle that while you find the stat sheet, because I can pull that up. It's in our NPCs, I think
Yeah,
it's here.
thank you. Okay, hold on. 20 plus 8 plus 17 plus 16
CG, you're not a ranger. You can't cast pass
plus
without a trace.
13
I'm not a
Plus
druid either.
5.
Profound sadness.
But
Let's
ranger
see,
can pass
1,
without a
2,
trace.
3,
I
4.
know, but that's like my signature thing as druid in the Saturday game because I got an item that lets me do it at will.
Oh, you bitch. Why
Wait,
didn't
hold on
you
one
bring it
second.
with you?
I am not doggo, so
I need
I
to-
cannot
I need to roll
use
for
extra
Anki.
stealth.
I could
I actually
probably
need to roll
solo
for
this
Monkey.
place.
I don't
I
have
actually
it
need to roll
prepared.
for Anki here.
Do it.
Also, it's on
Anki,
Brandy.
save us.
The only other time Pass Without a Trace would have been cast on this channel, it was not, and it ended in failed stealth.
Okay, 1 second, because I need to roll for him, and... Okay. He's got proficiency with this, but he will be at disadvantage.
Okay.
I'm gonna roll.
Okay. Roll, fool.
Okay, first one. Not good. Let me roll for the disadvantage. Oh.
Oh.
Well. Here's what's gonna happen. You guys begin to circle him.
Out of curiosity, if this man is drunk as shit, does he have disadvantage on his perception?
That was what I was rolling for.
Oh, I thought you were rolling for Anki still. Go ahead.
He... Watch this man. You are slowly and silently circling this man. He is still got a hand on his crotch and a hand on the bottle. This man is taking a raging pisser. Approximately... It's been probably going for a good solid 2 minutes now. And he's kind of like just singing a song drunkenly. Then he stops. And he goes, I know when I'm being surrounded. So you may as well show yourselves, otherwise I'm about to get medieval in this bitch.
Fuck it, I'm gonna let Anki take the lead.
Anki is going to reveal himself. And he goes, Oi! Cunt bag! Yes, the assassin looks and goes, I fucking know you. You might, considering you tried to put me in a fucking jar. Jar? I don't remember putting anyone in a jar. Did I put someone in a jar?
Can we just stab him?
Hey, Frost, is there a way that Aptus could do like a sniff check, so to speak, see if this is the same person or just someone who has similar
I would
tats?
say you don't even need to. The scent is immediately uncanny.
Okay, so definitely is him, not just similar tatted dude. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna stab him.
If she tries, I just might stop her. Like not harsh, just like abrupt, because the whole point is we're trying to get information.
Afira wanders into view behind Anki. So basically, there's an Anki dwarf and there's a smaller female dwarf behind him.
They can still talk to us with one arm.
And behind your back.
There's your friend there. You two trying to get a little frisky with me? Anki's just like, are you being for fucking real right now? Mentally.
I can absolutely set him on fire. I got a sword. I got an axe. I got daggers.
I've got a shotgun.
You have a what?
I have a shotgun behind my back.
What the fuck is a shotgun?
Don't worry about it. Look, fucker. I want some information. Piss off. I ain't under any contractual obligation, so you can kiss my arse. You fucking balls-busting wanker. Hey. How much? How much for what? These nuts? I could give them to you. No, you fucking drunk. Information. 10,000 gold. Fucking what now? Can you hear me from down there? You short stack fuckwit. 10,000 gold.
Anki will just hear from Daedalus in the back. Just keep him talking. At which point then, I'm just going to use the surface thoughts and just be like, say what information you want from him, and it will come to the surface of his mind.
He's got tats on his head, though. That doesn't work. I
You don't
tried
know
that
that.
last time.
Yeah, but that was before I dispelled the thing surgically implanted in his head.
Daedalus, I need you to do me a favor.
Mm-hmm.
Roll me a contesting intelligence check.
All
It's
right.
just for surface thoughts, though.
No, there's a reason.
21.
21. Alright, I need a roll for him. Does he
That's a
have...
good roll.
He does have an intelligence save. But this is a... He's not going to be using the save, he's actually going to be using just the intelligence. He's going to beat a 21. That's a failure. Daedalus, you do manage to read the surface thoughts, but it seems like whatever you dispelled has ignited back up. You can only assume it's probably was a temporary delay. Whatever he's got in his head, it reactivated. But you managed to overtake it, or at least for the moment.
At which point, Anki will just hear, he fixed the thing in his head. This is going to be a very short process. Start talking.
Aye, fine. 10,000 gold. Tosses it. He just tosses this bag. And you watch as the assassin catches it and he goes, oh no, this is... No. And he kind of jiggles with it. He kind of fondles the bag.
Of course he does.
It's 10,000, alright. Alright. What you want to know there, bossman? Anki looks to you, Ender. Oh, Afira. My apologies. And he goes, your price. You take the questions.
Just so I'm aware above game, we're here because they have the idea about the bindings of the harvester, yes?
Correct.
And just to make sure, I'll go through, and since we have a mental connection, anybody is willing to pipe up at this moment.
Correct.
We're looking for... We heard a little rumor about a soul harvester getting binded. Nasty bit of business. We're wanting some more information about it. Namely, Those that'll do the binding.
So, Mr. Bond. Ah, I remember. Yeah, not about that. Yeah. Yeah, that was some right proper cunt. Something about trying to track a bitch that couldn't be tracked by normal spells. Forget who it was. I was on the job. Can't remember. Yeah, it was some weird vampiric kid. What was his name?
Some hoity-toity fuck with a big ass staff.
No, not him. And he kind of pauses at it. How did you know about us, staff?
I got my connections.
Uh-huh. You watch as the hand is no longer on the crotch. And the cloak kind of falls a little bit off to the side a bit, covering his left arm.
Hey, DM, what is he thinking when this is happening? Because Daedalus can hear his thoughts.
There's some
Yeah.
alarm bells. He's... The sobriety is immediately kicking in.
Well, I would just like to say, do I get an image, specifically of the person he is thinking of talking about? Because we now know that them and Sweet are two different people.
You do get an image of Sweet in your head, but you also get an image of another vampire that was alongside Sweet.
Interesting.
Is it a different one than one of the three that I would recognize?
It is, in fact, one of the three.
You are all just going to hear over the mental connection, Morg, you are fucking useless.
I don't think that's what he was. Never mind.
Yeah, I remember. There was this kid. It was one of a loony goon of another one with a staff. And he didn't make it out alive, though. Burnt to a fucking crisp.
Shame.
Aye.
He's the one that did the binding.
Aye. Found him. I'm not much of that kind of magical stuff. I'm more of the kill the enemies of my masters. But I'm a freelance worker, so, you know.
Aye. As long as the pay is good, you get the job done. I can respect that.
That's right. What else do you want to know?
Peanut Gallery, do any of you have any questions to ask?
None but peanuts here, Chief.
I would say, ask about his company earlier in the day, because apparently he was with someone that matches one of the people he just said is dead as fuck.
Oh, if you're talking... No, my apologies. Allow me to rectify. The vampire he's talking about was Marcus. One of the two goons of Sweet that got ganked.
Yes, but we know that this guy was probably traveling with someone who's either using Marcus's name, or, again, there's some aliases and some other stuff. We just need to figure out what players are going on, because now we know... We first thought that Marcus was alive. Now we have that he's confirmed dead. There's a lot to go on with just this one little cell.
Oh, okay. My apologies. You were saying, CG?
No, it just... Correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like Marcus did the binding before he got axed.
That's what I interpreted.
Marcus
as well.
bound this harvester, but he's dead.
Okay.
So, who is it bound to right now?
That's an excellent question, Batman.
Ah, that's our next question, I suppose. Belky will pose said question to Afira, to ask the dude.
So this folk done went and bound the Harvestman. Who's currently got said Harvestman?
Fuck if I know, mate. Probably whoever's got the fucking binding item. I don't know the whole fucking ritual. That's the fucking wizard shit. Ain't
Well, you
more
are
thing.
from Thay.
Think I'd know that shit? Do I look like a fucking wizard to you? I'm pissing in an alley.
Is he still pissing?
Oh no, this man stopped pissing.
I was gonna say that might be kind of impressive, but holy shit, that's.
I mean, he already took a long piss.
I was gonna say, are you Austin Powers, my guy?
This man's on a pission.
He's Australian. Clearly, he's the sniper.
Don't
Dry.
ask about the Girardi.
Everyone will probably hear over a link. While you have that one spell going, are you able to use the object search again?
Daedalus will be like, I can, but it might jeopardize my concentration on this spell, and I'm already fighting against something that should have lost all its magic.
So,
But I'd also point
how
out,
about-
Daedalus made locate object spells for everyone. You should have a
Mhm.
scroll.
right, I didn't know if I had received one.
Yeah, I think we
We
all
all
have.
have.
So Spellkey
so-
will.
So then, and there's a specific thing Iapetus wants to look for.
Okay.
Just to make sure I understand, how does one use a scroll? Do they just use it? And
Yeah, you
is there-
just use it.
You basically just read it, activate it. However you
Cool.
activate spells.
So, using like someone else to like hide what she's doing, even if it requires like turning slightly to look like she's looking down the direction that they came from, say to hide a gesture. She wants to try to locate object, not for a coin, specifically picturing the blade that Naylock and Diane showed them, to see if it's on.
Are
This
you
dude's
speaking
person.
of a red wizard's dagger?
Yes, because they warned us to
You
be
did-
careful of it.
Let me read this thing. Can someone just bring up the locate objects?
Yeah,
I
can on
don't
my
have it,
I have it
so,
on my sheet, so
yeah.
I can click it for you. Just a
Yeah,
sec.
please and
you.
thank you. I just want to read that
There you
real
are.
quick. Okay.
Because I think Naylock and Diane showed us an image of it to warn us to be careful of it.
Well, yeah, because you die if you get stabbed with it. There's no
Exactly.
saving you.
That's why she wants to locate object to see
Okay.
if one's present.
So I'm gonna say this right now. I need you to roll me a sleight of hand.
I
because
will
you are
block
trying
her view, so advantage.
You're not next to Iapetus.
I didn't move the character token, but I'm telling you.
All right,
Uh,
then I'll allow it.
I was also gonna say, if it helps, I did mention she's gonna like try to hide behind someone and turn
Yeah.
slightly.
Okay.
Just in case.
Sleight of hand. You will get the advantage.
Come on, roll 20, please.
Don't fuck up.
I'm trying not to. Motherfucker, 15.
Let me roll for prying eyes.
Oh, I don't know if I should use that inspiration.
You cast the spell and you think no one noticed. You are looking for that red wizard's dagger, correct?
just to see if it's on his person, yes.
Iapetus. You get 3 pings.
Oh,
One in the
no.
direction of the assassin. One approaching your location. And one over in some of the market stalls. From probably what appears is probably being sold.
In that mind link, everyone's going to hear, whatever we're trying to do, we should do it quickly because a certain blade that we don't want to interact with is in this room, approaching us, and somewhere else in the market. We need to go.
Sounds like Q&A's over.
What exactly was the binding item? A soul coin, perhaps? Or something else? If
Fuck
you know.
if I know. I don't stick around for that gruesome shit. I'm a contract killer. I'm a fucking psychopath.
Aye,
You
professional.
wanna fucking know that shit? You gotta go find the fucking source. Besides,
And where might the source be?
And where exactly might that source be?
even I ain't got that kind of knowledge. Only met my prior clientele through this here beloved establishments. I don't go to them, they come to me. Just like how you all came to me.
Well, you pissed in an alley.
Does anybody else have any questions? So what do we need to know specifically? We know that we know who did the binding. We know the binding is dead. The binder is dead.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know how he was bound. We don't know what object he was bound to. We asked those questions.
Mm-hmm.
Can anybody think of anything that we're missing on this?
Not out of hand.
Both above game and in game, I am mentally preoccupied with knife, so brain is distracted. I'm sorry.
I'm getting over COVID. I have no brain.
Vaughn, CG, Willie, y'all have been a little bit quiet.
Thinking here.
CG was BRB'd.
I just got back.
My BRB didn't go through, but just trying to think here. So this sounds like he's a local contract killer. Not too much information is gonna be had. Sounds like they hired him to kidnap Anki. He can't turn them down for a certain reason, but that's basically it. Like, turns out this guy's a dead end who just might just come and stab us again.
He's a man who keeps his contracts.
Fair enough.
He is very professional, at least on that.
I mean, listen, we know that the dude's bound. He's a bit of a dead end. We could just call it a day.
I think so. I think that's all we're gonna get out of this guy.
Yeah. We could. I mean, if he's gonna be tight-lipped about his contracts, which understandably so, yeah, that's it. We just call it.
Also, with what she told you guys, we don't know if he might be stalling as well for time.
Can Daedalus tell since he's mentally connected?
That would have to be past surface thoughts. He'd have to actually look into his head. At which point, that's a contested check, not counting whatever thing got turned back on.
That's a pretty dangerous proposition.
Mm-hmm.
If possible, although she's squishy, Iapetus would probably like to move back down that hallway, not out of eye shot of friends, but essentially trying to make sure we're not getting bottlenecked.
Fair enough.
Is there somewhere I should put myself, Frost?
I'd just say you're fine where you're at.
Okay.
All right.
Then I got one last question for you before I go. I take it that you're a bit of a connoisseur around these parts. You know about these parts. You ever see anybody with a particular holy symbol in the shape of a golden goblet with rising smoke from it?
Oh, goblet with rising smoke. Above game, Bob, which holy symbol who are you trying to invoke?
I'm asking, remember that one particular antithesis that I told you about? I'm asking if Afira is hoping that it's not here, but she is checking to see if it is here. It is the embodiment of lust and gluttony that I told you about.
Ah, let me roll for that. I'm actually going to roll the D100 for this. He kind of thinks, goes, there's a temple and a bunch of clerics for that. I don't know which one you're talking about. There's some crazy motherfuckers over there. It's some wild orgies. Of course, if you're not prepped for them, you can basically get murdered. You ever been murder fucked? Shit's not fun.
Yes, I've heard of the cult of Rakdos.
The worst part is Daedalus now knows what a murder fuck looks like, because he probably would have just thought of it.
Yes, it's not a pleasant look, especially when you get to, hey Daedalus, I need you to do me a favor.
Oh boy.
Roll me an intelligence save, because you might get bombarded with some imagery.
Should have kept your mouth shut.
16?
Oh, yes, Slanesh.
16. You managed to fight back a very good flood. But you do, for a brief moment, get to experience being quite murdered while fucking. As this man.
Wait, he's died?
This man has died.
Oh no. That's not good.
You'll all just hear,
You just
I only just
described Battle Royale.
I was gonna say, you'll all just hear Daedalus go, I only just discovered my sexuality, and I've now seen the worst sexual act I can never not commit to memory.
Even Anki kind of goes, like he's mentally holding back vomit.
The folks in the mental connection, as soon as this man mentions that this sect is here, there is almost a feeling of dread that washes across the connection, specifically from Afira. And she nods at Anki. I think that's all the questions.
Sorry I couldn't help you there, sweetheart. If you're looking for that kind of information, you need to talk to one of the big red wizards. And unfortunately, I'm not an employee there right now. At least. And he kind of actually pauses for a moment. And he actually looks thoughtfully and he starts thinking. Nah, not an employee by them.
So what does he think? What was he thinking? Since there's a wasn't there a mental connection on him at the moment?
You can. This one's actually going to require a deeper check for detect thoughts, if you want to pursue that.
Daedalus is not going to. There's a sense of urgency, and also at this point, like, the amount of discomfort and the fact that this guy is a dead end is just radiating off of him as he's just like, we need to go.
Yeah. I think it's about time we cut our losses here.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Afira is
Whatever you-
starting to wander past towards the group and wanders specifically behind Anki.
And all
Whatever you do, don't turn your back.
Mm-hmm.
you have a good day then. As Anki begins to walk away, and the assassin goes, alright, whatever you fucking weird short freaks. Hey, Iapetus.
Sup?
You know how you had that detect item?
Sup?
It got real close. As proceeding out from up here, is a 6-man procession of individuals that all happen to be... How do I put this?
Can
Wearing
you
red
ping
robes?
again? Because I had my sheet up and I missed it. Oh.
Yeah, directly above us.
As 6
Fuck that.
individuals with bald heads, red masks covering their face, and kind of like red and gold robery with some revealing sights, like sleeveless, like outfits, come walking down. Each of them has like what appears to be a marking of a V etched into their foreheads, with at least a line kind of forming the V to become an upside down A, and another line going through right towards the bottom to make this smaller triangle. And walking alongside, in the middle of these 6, is a 7th. One who stands taller. One with hollowed out eye sockets. And tightly pulled back flesh. A very familiar sight at the market. And we will end session here.
That's a lich.
The scariest thing is that lich is not the scariest thing we've interacted with so far.
Yeah,
Fuck that.
I'm pretty sure the most dangerous thing made a purchase earlier.
Yeah,
when we were
yeah,
present.
they did.
Correct. I will. I'll talk
still,
about it in just a
fuck
second,
that.
but let's go through our
Yeah.
rundown.
Starting
for
with you
tonight. And
because
also- yeah,
You gotta go.
yeah. Hi everybody, Twitch, Twitter, JFrost747. Find me Sundays and every other Tuesday over at twitch.tv/fartingtart for War of the Shattered Sun and Rascals and Ravnica. Find me here every other Saturday for this lovely campaign. Krista, next.
Hey, do not deceive me. I am a figment of your imagination. I do not exist. I am here every other Saturday as Belky. Otherwise, I do not exist. Okay. Wiley, go.
I stream on Twitch every Monday. At Wiley is Willy. You can find my music and other stuff on Wiley Willy on YouTube, Ko-Fi, and Blue Sky. And you can find me on Twitter at xwiley CG, where can we not find you?
Nowhere, because I don't much care for social media. You can, however, find me on twitch.tv/fartingtart for War of the Shattered Sun every single Sunday, and Rascals and Ravnica every other Tuesday, and starting December 6th, Thursday for that month for this year's Festive Fantasy. Going to be a fun one. Yay. Ty.
Had to unmute. You can find me on Twitch and Instagram at ZymieSite and basically everywhere else at Zymie, or Zyminess. Doing the Final Fantasies still on Final Fantasy X Tuesdays. Trying to beat some Dark Aeons. Got a lot of grinding to do so I could beat Penance. Nothing on Wednesdays because we finished Onimusha 3. Fridays, we're playing fighting games, beat 'em ups, or occasionally Dragon's Dogma 2 for Fistful of Friday. And then every other Saturday here with these lovely beans. Occasionally on Mondays, doing Wizard Sibs with Vaughn. Bobert?
Greetings. I'm Bob. I'm Bobert. You can find me at everywhere at Showdown and Shabab. I stream on the weekends sometimes. Probably next stream I'm going to be doing is Maelstrom and quite possibly some Saved by the Spell with continuing with Jurassic Park World Evolution and having some chaos and some fun. Last time we had a lot of very in-depth conversations and some very interesting looks into the characters. We'll see what happens this time. Vaughn, go.
Yeah, hi, you've already found me here at twitch.tv/BurnoutVaughn. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and primarily at Blue Sky at Burnout Vaughn. You can find me on Patreon at Burnout's Bar. This coming week, we should have just... Oh, actually, no. We should start with tomorrow, because tomorrow we have the second ever one-shot ever held on this channel, as Saris takes me, Citric, and Skeleton Alpha through a single one-shot where we gotta find some people. I can only say right now, our working title is The Dino, the Witch, and the Sad Crow. But with that out of the way, I'm I know who we're going to raid. It's a friend from another Discord server who's a lovely bean. We're going to raid one Tiki the Troll. So what should our raid message be?
I can't unsee it.
I can't unsee it. Yeah, that works. That's on brand. Thank you all for coming out. We will see you again sometime soon. Holidays are about to happen, so we'll keep you posted. We love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Adios.